Okay, so when I created this poll, I did it on my IG page, and of course, as you can tell, my community page on YouTube. I was thoroughly intrigued. I was thoroughly interested in knowing how people felt about what was going on, because at the time, I honestly, guys, I didn't know which was happening. Like, okay, are they just talking out the side of their necks, or are they really doing something illegal? So that's why I created the poll. I wanted y'all's opinion. I wanted to see what y'all thought. And as you can see, the majority of the people think that it is witness tampering or witness intimidation. So I just wanted to see, how people felt about it. And I also want to add that the screenshots used in this particular video was solely the times that I caught that they were actually discussing uh, the witness, the victim in this particular situation, and playing audio recording of her speaking about what happened and things like that. And they had commentary about it. So that's the only reason I use those particular screenshots. And if people ask, I blur out all of Carbonation members' names because I don't like promoting them. I don't like sending people to their pages. So I think I'm probably one of the only channel holders that blurs out their names. But the majority of you know exactly where to go to look at this stuff. So, but for the ones that do not, that's why it's blurred out. I don't want them to go find these people. That's just me. So, that's the reason why I use these particular screenshots. And I genuinely wanted to know y'all's feelings and thoughts about what was going on. Um, and I also want to add that I never ever said that the witness or the victim in this case is not a victim. I just want to put that out there. I never ever said that. So I would appreciate that everyone who has been saying that, I would appreciate that you stop, because I've never said that woman was not a victim. I've never said that. I've said other things. I've disagreed with other behaviors. However, I've never taken that away. I do have a couple of opinions and theories about a lot of different things, but that's neither here or there. This video is very specific, and I want you to check it out. So with this poll, I noticed that a lot of people feel like what's been going on is in fact witness intimidation, witness tampering, and then there's a lot of other people who kind of consider it freedom of speech, just kind of saying what they feel about the case, how they feel the events are going, or whatever the case may be. They're just voicing their opinion. So are the lines blurred? That's the question. When does freedom of speech become harassment or witness intimidation? That's the question. And so let's check it out and see when exactly the lines are blurred.
Threatening people or posting their photos on Facebook and Instagram is the latest method of intimidating witnesses to keep them from testifying.
When news broke last Friday that there was an Instagram account devoted exclusively to ratting out witnesses to crimes across Philadelphia, social media experts barely blinked an eye. It's absolutely not surprising to me. People are taking pictures of witnesses, they're posting them online, and they're doing it specifically for witness intimidation, said Bradley Shear, an attorney who specializes in social media law, adding that both Facebook and Twitter are also part of the growing trend. And it's only going to increase with frequency. People have to be so careful with what they are posting and who is taking their pictures of them. While intimidating witnesses isn't new, social media is the latest vehicle by which to do so. Witness intimidation has long been a part of the challenge of using criminal informants in our justice system, said Alexandra Nadapoff, a professor at the Loyola Law School in Los Angeles. Social media and the online exchange of information have changed many of the ways we think about law enforcement and crime control, and this is one of the important ways. The account on the photo sharing site called Rat215 had identified more than 30 witnesses since February and had posted pictures, police statements, and testimony, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. The account has since been disabled, but it's just the latest example of witness encountering threatening messages on social media networks or being photographed in courtrooms and later having their pictures show up online. Last month, a Buffalo, New York drug defendant was convicted of witness intimidation and tampering with a witness after the witness testimony and statements were posted to Facebook on the eve of his trial. In July, 2 Louisiana men were indicted for threatening a federal witness via Instagram. Each faced sentences of 30 years in prison if convicted. The following month in Philadelphia, where the district attorney office says witness intimidation is at a near epidemic level, a 20-year-old man was sentenced up to 23 months in prison for Facebook posts in which he threatened witnesses, including posts showing a witness statement and status updates that said KILL all rats. A Pottstown, PA woman is currently serving a 2 to 5 year sentence for using Facebook to intimidate a witness of an attempted murder by her boyfriend. There is even an online database, whosarat.com, where members can post and view photos of thousands of criminal informants. On Tuesday, Philadelphia police made an arrest in connection to the Rats215 account. Nasheen Anderson, a 17-year-old of East Germantown, PA, was charged with witness intimidation and terroristic threats for labeling victims as rats on Twitter. The account posted information about a 2012 shooting in Philadelphia, according to the DA's office. A police spokesperson said the same information that appeared on the Twitter account showed up on the Rats215 Instagram account. I don't care how old you are. If you intimidate a witness in this city, I'm going to come after you, DA Seth Williams warned in a press release on Wednesday. Digital witness intimidation has created new problems for law enforcement and for courts, experts say. It used to be that the control of information in the criminal justice was an important way that we kept the system regular and safe, and now social media and the internet have really destroyed the government's ability to control information in cases. It's opened up all kinds of possibilities that are challenging the old rules of criminal justice and criminal procedure. Efforts to combat social media witness intimidation have increased around the nation in recent years, but more laws are likely. Already, some courthouses have gone so far as to ban cell phones. Cook County, Illinois, where gang intimidation has been a persistent problem, passed a law banning mobile phones from their criminal courthouse this past April. Circuit Court of Cook County Chief Judge Timothy Evans said he pushed for the ban, which includes laptops and tablets, because cell phone pictures and videos have led to the murders of witnesses in Cook County. The capabilities of a smartphone, it's a mini computer, Shear, the social media lawyer, said. If you're doing anything in public, you might be recorded. Unfortunately, with Google Glass and some of the products and competitors who are coming out with, the problem is only going to get worse. But limiting cell phones poses problems of its own. Members of the media and lawyers often need their cell phones in courtrooms. Cook County's ban excludes reporters, judges, law enforcement officers, jurors, domestic violence advocates, counselors, and those seeking an order of protection. Justice Department officials have also called in recent years for federal courts to make it harder for the public to access court documents online, as witness intimidation on social media has become more prevalent, and as whosarat.com has outed more than 5,000 witnesses who cooperated with the government. Law enforcement deals with online intimidation in the same way they deal with threats in person. They investigate who's making the threat, but also reach out to platforms where the threat is taking place, which often involves court orders. In Philadelphia, where witness intimidation, both online and otherwise, has resulted in a record number of cases being dismissed, DA Attorney Williams went to Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg in February to ask for the removal of a Facebook page allegedly soliciting the KILLING of a witness. Sometimes the companies are a little more flexible if it appears to be an immediate danger or an immediate threat, Scheer said. In general, however, social media platforms are still trying to figure out how much they can balance protecting their users' privacy versus helping out law enforcement, he said. While social media poses great risk for witnesses, it can also be an opportunity for the criminal justice system. Social media is one of those double-edged swords, she said. On one hand, it can spread the dangers of intimidation and fear and even certain sorts of crime, but it also provides the basis for new forms of social safety, of sharing information, of protecting victims, of providing information about crimes that we didn't know before.
Has your case been affected by what your witness posted on social media? In today's world, social media websites allow people to openly share whatever they want and communicate with others around the world. Over 1.79 billion individuals worldwide use Facebook every month, and over half visit the website at least once in a day. In 1 minute, more than 1.3 million separate pieces of content, photos, wall posts, etc., are uploaded to Facebook, while Twitter processes a staggering 340 million tweets per day from its over 140 million active users. Unlike an in-person comment or a phone call, content posted on social media websites are more permanent and potentially public, presenting the possibility of either a minefield or gold mine of evidence in litigation. Depending on the litigation, social media websites can provide informative and useful information about witnesses and opposing parties. Given the open nature of the social media websites and the abundance of information posted by the users, attorneys have discovered that seeking information for their cases from these websites can be a great tool in their arsenal. As a result, witnesses should be careful about what they post on social media websites since the information can be used against them and may affect the outcome of the case. Are you talking with your witnesses and those you represent about social media and its potential impact on the case? Let's discuss some social media tips that you can discuss with your witnesses.
Social media tips for your witness. Number 1, don't post any potential incriminating evidence. Most people use social networking pages that can be used as valuable source of information or a potential pitfall. Pertinent evidence obtained from witnesses' social media accounts on sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and others can discredit evidence given by witnesses, prove and disprove alibis, reveal personal communications, establish personal relationships and motives, provide location information, and establish criminal enterprise or crime. In 2009, Von Atina, a New York police officer who was testifying against Gary Waters, who was on trial for possession of a weapon, was discredited as a result of the post he made on social media websites, using evidence drawn from Atina's online social media activities. Gary's lawyer dug up evidence that showed that the day before the arrest, Vaughn had set his mood indicator on his MySpace page to devious. He also told the court that leading up to the trial, Atina had set his Facebook status to read, "Vaughn is watching, training day," so that he brush up on proper police procedure. Number 2, be wary of friend connect requests. Witnesses should be wary of the strangers they communicate with on social media websites, since in some cases people can deceive them online so that they could get information about the case or influence the outcome of the case. In a real-world example of an attorney trying to befriend a potential witness, a prosecutor in Ohio posed on Facebook as an ex-girlfriend of a murder defendant. The prosecutor's stated goal was to convince the two female alibi witnesses to change their stories. However, in the end, his plan failed and he was fired. Number 3, be aware of witness intimidation and harassment. Given the nature of some of these offenses committed via social media, it would be good for attorneys to be alert to the possibility that witnesses or victims might be intimidated or vulnerable. In such cases, potential vulnerabilities will properly considered, including early conversations with law enforcement on whether special measures should be taken.